Welcome back, everyone. We're going to be solving LeetCode 219, contains duplicate 2. So we're given an integer array called nums and an integer k. We want to return true if there are two distinct indices, I and j, in the array such that nums at the ith position is equal to nums at the jth position, and the absolute value of I minus j is less than or equal to k. So we can solve this with a hash map, and we will say mapping will be equal to a dictionary. So let's take a look at example 1. Example 1 returns true, right? At index 0, we have a 1, and at index 3, we also have a 1, right? So 0 minus 3, the absolute value of that, is going to be 3, right? That which is less than or equal to k, so we return true. So what we're going to do is we are going to loop through our original array, and we are going to get the enumeration, so the index and the value. What we're going to do is, if that value is already in our mapping, then we can return the index at that value minus the index that we're currently at. Otherwise, we're just going to add the value to our dictionary along with the index. So what's that going to look like? That is going to look like this. So for index value in enumerate nums, if that value is in our mapping, that means we have two distinct indices which contain the same value. So we need to check if their absolute value, if the difference of the absolute value is less than or equal to k. So we'll say if v is in mapping, we need to say if I minus mapping of v is less than or equal to k, we will return true. Otherwise, if it's not in there, then we can add mapping v is going to be equal to our current index, and then if we ever exit this loop, it means we have not found a pair of indices which satisfies our conditions. So we can just do a latent return false. So let's get rid of some spaces and run this. And we can see we pass all 3 test cases. We'll submit. And it does pass. Perfect. So what is the runtime of this? The runtime of this is going to be O of n, right? We're only doing one pass through our original array and doing some checks for the difference between some values, right? So our time complexity is going to be O of n, and the space complexity is going to be O of n in this case, right? It's going to be based off the length of our mapping. So we can say O of mapping dot length.